You have to be physically under the threat or actual attack now. You can't say someone attacked us 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 years ago, and now we're going to have a go at attacking them. You can't do that under the framework of just war thinking. Some people want to say, well, you mightn't be able to do that under just war thinking, but I'm inclined to do it, and I feel it's warranted. Yeah, but the interesting thing is very, very, very few people, governments or groups, organizations, actually advance that argument. It is held in such disrepute ethically that very few people would justify their actions. But there are elements of it. For example, the Russians do say that they went into Ukraine because serious injury was done to Russian interests with the expansion of NATO and so on. So, yes, it is being used, but still, a lot of people say, even though they may have had legitimate grievances, and I'm one who thinks they did, that doesn't necessarily justify the next step, and therefore we will attack you and commit soldiers and civilians to an extraordinary number of casualties, as has been the case. No, that is not regarded, I think widely regarded these days, as constituting ethical grounds for taking military action. It does constitute ethical grounds for attempting any number of measures to try and remedy the situation, which reminds me, even in the concept of just war developed many centuries ago, one of the many conditions was, and it can only be used as a last resort, when every other means has been tested and demonstrated to have failed. Only then can you use it. Otherwise, it doesn't satisfy a key requirement of the just cause. So, no, I don't think that's a legitimate ground. These are legitimate grounds for taking military action. You may feel aggrieved. You may be right in feeling aggrieved about something that was done to you, and that may require you to take certain steps to see how it can be dealt with, hopefully in a mutually responsible way. The other consideration, which again is an ethical one, is that even if someone 50, 100, 150 years ago did something to you which was unjustified, it doesn't follow that the people who live in that country now, many decades or years later, can be made sacrificial lambs in order for you to rectify a wrong that was done some time before. So, if we were to get an example close to Australia, the indigenous peoples of this country have every reason to feel aggrieved on so many fronts, including massacres that occurred and the continuing injustices that have been perpetrated. But there is no just war theory that would say, and therefore, indigenous communities across the country have now the right to take up arms and massacre people, presumably of European descent, left, right, and center, as retribution. There is that's not permitted within just war theory, let alone with any new ideas that may emerge to replace it and perhaps take the ethical discourse several steps beyond just war theory.